Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Every Time We Show Up by Devin Every Time Walls. In Southern Illinois, it seem like the powers that be straight be hating on our folk. They robbing from us through the power bill industry, literally taking what's ours, yo. The price of the power they using is pennies compared to highway robbery. So I come here to level the field with no home field advantage, emerging from poverty. And my company growth meteoric, my flow metaphoric, so they can't ignore it. Plus I'm coming so hard from the start that it ain't hard to see. Deion Warwick, I'm rocking church clothes in the hood, telling power consumers it's time to get paid back. My tide level Windsor, my word level sensor, my Chrysler 300 is laid back. I figured that would be a really good way to break the ice and kind of get me a little loosened up as well. And so, I call that Every Time We Show Up. I made that in 2016 for an energy company. I actually used to work for that energy company. Don't want to get too carried away into the explanation of it, but basically, when they passed a law back in the early 2000s to deregulate the power industry, lots of companies took advantage of that deregulation movement. And so one of those companies was the Southland Corporation that we all know as 7-Eleven. And it's owned by Jerry Thompson Jr. currently. His great grandfather started the company long before I was born. And now Jerry Thompson Jr. is the owner of that company. He buys power from the energy market and then redistributes the power through the power grid that we know as Ameren and various other companies. And so as a supplier, he's able to sell the wholesale energy at a retail value, in some cases at a fixed rate where people can save money. And so in order to get more customers in this, it's a complex business, but it's really simple once you understand it. And so in order to simplify what I did for a living, I made a song about it. And that would be Every Time We Show Up, which you just listened to. And so that's where, the elements of Bizanthem Network Solution really came from. It came from 2016 when I made that song. And that song opened the door to so many possibilities. It actually went to so many different individuals, some of whom was Murphy Lee's manager. And Murphy Lee used to rap with Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. And it also went to BGN TV. BGN TV is a TV programmer out of South Carolina. And so I can get more into them later. And it also went to some producers that work with Tyler Perry's music studio. And all of this happened 4 months after I cut that record. And I was like, wow, if this can get that much traction in 4 months without even being on the radio, I really got something here I should try to figure out how I can capitalize on. And let's just say fast forward 4 years later, Bizanthem Network Solutions. Created by Devin Every Time Walls. The next thing you're about to see is the 2018 video that we made called Taking Off. And this video took first place in the nationwide music video contest. And so not only did it take first place, but it turned around and took second place in the second round as well. And so we were very happy about the win. And I want to tell you a few facts about the video before you look at it. So 2018 was really a big year for the Cadillac Escalade. And so we were actually able to get Bommarito Cadillac of St. Peters, Missouri to donate a 2018 Escalade that was all black, so that way our video would look a little bit more snazzy. And so part of the package that came from our win is that we got a chance to be played on a worldwide platform 250 times. And so not only was Bommarito Cadillac in the Escalade able to be shown on that worldwide platform those 250 times, but every other business that was also in that video were also able to piggyback on that promotion. And so that's just a little bit of the background. So when you look at it, I'm not sure exactly how long of the video I'm going to show because, for the sake of brevity. But if you look on that video on YouTube or any of the streaming platforms, you'll be able to see that this was a really big win for a lot of different marketplaces. And so that's what you know, what the Bizanthem effect can do for those businesses, as well as what the Bizanthem effect can do for your business. Enjoy.
For myself, but not by myself. I ain't just doing this for my health. I love health, but I do need wealth. For myself, but not by myself.
I say I'm taking off, like every day is Friday. I say I'm taking off, like I'ma touch the sky today.
For myself, but not by myself. I ain't just doing this for my health. I love health, but I do need wealth. For myself, but not by myself.
I say I'm taking off, move everything out my way. I say I'm taking off, before my chances fly away.
Ain't nothing impossible, leaving I got to do. I mean, these financial obstacles really ain't rockable. The freedom I'm after, I leave it unlocked for you. Cause you've been going so hard not to fill up your pockets too. Took off on the missile, now the world a light blue skip. First I ain't know my party, now I feel so liberal. Just like I told Patricia, I had to show LaCrissa. If you could end up a pro, bet you would show up, wouldn't you? Dudes on my past life, so gone like last night. Can't go back in time, so I'm going toward that sunlight. Tell my executive assistant, put me on that next airline. I'm leaving my suits at the Krisnip this time, but not every time. Taking on myself, but not by myself. I ain't just doing this for my health. I love health, but I do need wealth. For myself, but not by myself.
I say I'm taking off, like every day is Friday. I say I'm taking off, like I'ma touch the sky today.
For myself, but not by myself. I ain't just doing this for my health. I love health, but I do need wealth. For myself, but not by myself.
I say I'm taking off, move everything out my way. I say I'm taking off, before my chances fly
I'm
away.
taking off, no sick day. Been grinding since the 6th grade. I mastered all my problems, cause Jesus is my sensei. Ain't no slowing up. Helium plans, we going up. Executive plan, show me the land. Throw on my suit and we showing up. From sundown to sun up, no sleep. Fire projection on flick. I tell them haters, don't speak.
We still love you though.
It's grind now and laugh later, so grateful. And they ain't stopping till my team in that skyscraper.
Listen to my past life, ain't worried about that fast life. Had a dream last night, my team gon' be alright.
Tell my executive assistant cancel my plan for the day. I'm giving back to my peeps in a major way because I'm
for myself, but not by myself. I ain't just doing this for my health. I love health, but I do need wealth. For myself, but not by myself.
I say I'm taking off, like every day is Friday. I say I'm taking off, like I'ma touch the sky today.
For myself, but not by myself. I ain't just doing this for my health. I love health, but I do need wealth. For myself, but not by myself.
I say I'm taking off, move everything out my way. I say I'm taking off, before my chances fly away. Before my chances fly away. Say I'm taking off, before my chances fly away.
So by now, you should be thinking, what can this do for my business? What can this do for my foundation? And I like to get right into that. So we're talking about having a music video for a company that's been around, that's already made a name for itself in the market for 2 decades already. Okay, so what on earth would a business that's been around for 2 decades need a music video for all of a sudden, right? Okay, so let's get into some statistics. According to Google, there are 7.7 billion people in the world. 59% of the world uses the internet. That means 4.57 billion people are using the internet in 2020. A reported 2/3 of the world is also actively using social media. Okay, so our goal with Bizanthem Marketing is to have a solution for a problem that people didn't even know existed. I mean, they knew existed, but they didn't really know what to do about it, so they ignored it. Just to be simple, all right? So that problem is you come up with the video of a lifetime. You spend thousands of dollars on it. These days, corporate videos can run from $10,000 to $30,000 for just a few minutes of ad spend. Just for a few minutes of ad spend, we're talking 30K, all right? And your goal is to get, you know, if you got a worldwide brand, you're going to get as many of that internet active market, which is 59% of the world. You want to get as much of that market tapped into your brand as possible. But what if people are being put to sleep by your video marketing campaign? If you notice, that's the reason why I put a little snippet of what I do for a living, making biz anthems for people's businesses, anthems about business that I have you singing all the way to the bank. If you notice, I started my presentation with something that would get people hooked into what it is that I'm talking about right off the bat. And so, of course, they got all kinds of gimmicks. They have people running from like 70 feet away, coming real close up to the camera like they got something really important to say. They're doing the TikTok, branding, all of the little millennial dances that are coming out in order to get people to find out what it is that they're trying to sell. They got all of the little tricks, they call them advertising tools. And I could even tell you what those are, but I'm not trying to, impress anybody. It's all basic stuff. It's, images, videos, music, words, spoken word, written word. And the culmination of those things are the advertising tools. I like to actually jump right into, because I'm talking about those advertising tools, I like to jump into a portion of my business plan that really explains the use of the highest and best use of the advertising tools that I just mentioned. Okay, so in our quest to explain the effects of music videos and what they would have on the consumer economy, we've come across the holy grail of what used to be called advertising in a book called Seducing Strangers. And after the title, which is already provocative enough, kind of wears off. The explaining advertising in terms of seducing strangers does the perfect job of getting at the very heart of why Bizanthem will be the world's first marketing superhero with no kryptonite. Seducing Strangers is a 99% tell-all about the new way of marketing and advertising. And since it's not quite a full 100% tell-all, let us once again drive home the point Bizanthem Network Solutions is making, that we are covering that missing 1%. Okay, I guess I hesitated because something crazy came to my mind all of a sudden. It's like, you buy hand sanitizer or, bathroom cleaner, and it says that it kills 99.9% of the germs, but it's always leaving that little 1% out. Well, our company comes to get that 99 plus that 1%. We're going to be batting 100% because we're going to take our time with a direct campaign that is going to lure people in from the word go because of the music and its influence and its ability to captivate the mind when you combine that with music video. And that's what we're going to do for your foundation. It's a very interesting point that was made in the book called Seducing Strangers. And it, to me, because of the fact that I'm such a music enthusiast, and music videos in particular, it was so compelling to me that the leading creative designer in the country, he stated what the tools are, and he said, people are looking for a silver bullet on how to use those tools in the most highest and most effective way to save them time and money. And he said, if one existed, then I'll let you know. But I've been doing this for years and years, and I haven't found such a thing. That was what he was saying in a nutshell. And I was like, really? And this is like in page 9 of the book. I'm like, I didn't even have to read the entire book to realize that the number one guy in the country in creative design, which is advertising, and according to this book, what used to be called advertising, because the whole idea of advertising these days is to seduce you, to get you to do what they want you to do, is to get someone somewhere to do something. That's what advertising does. And so they're using all of the tools, and I'm not trying to say that they're using them wrong. I'm just saying that they're not using them at the highest and best use. So what is that highest and best use? A music video, something that people are going to wrap their minds around and pass to their friends and go back and look over and over and over again. Think about it like this, and I'll end on this note. If you Google how many people are looking for just researching what you do for a living, right? And in real time, what's the size of number of people that are looking for and researching for what you do for a living, right? And then look at the number of people that are spending time, hours upon hours, looking at music videos. And those numbers are going to be polar opposites, right? Now, our goal with Bizanthem Network Solutions is to get as much of the market that's looking at music videos to not only look at what you do for a living, but you specifically. How about that? That's why we call Bizanthems making music about business, or making anthems about your business that will have you singing all the way to the bank.
Still I dream in America. I'm only working for my grandkids' inheritance. I also got my city on my